Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it. And folks, all hell just broke loose. Charles Barkley then jumped into the chat. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So this is just a last minute thing. One of our viewers sent it to me on Instagram. His name is Superman. That's the name of the account, I think. So make sure if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is CTABANZ. Also follow DREAMERSPRO as well, same name as the channel. But anyway, so he sent me this this story, right? And it was about Charles Barkley talking about Bronny James. I'm like, Charles Barkley talking about Bronny James? Really? So I thought it was old news because on NBA opening night, Charles Barkley, TNT covered the opening night game. So he discussed it then. So I was like, okay, probably this is an old audio. So when I clicked on the video to hear what he had to say, it turned out it was something recent because Charles was reacting to the news of the Lakers saying that Bronny James wasn't going to be traveling away with the home team. So look, there were people out there that were essentially twerking it up all day long for this Bronny story. But then what ended up happening was the Lakers did something that was so egregious. LeBron and these guys did something that was so egregious. And what ended up happening was it was so bad that it started turning off people. And you started having people out there like Ryan Clark and others calling out the Lakers, because essentially the news was not only was Bronny not performing, producing for the main team, nor the G League team, but then we got the news that he wasn't going to be traveling away for the road games. And that was just the final breaking point for a lot of people. The only person I heard defend that was Gilbert Arenas. Why Gilbert Arenas defended that, I don't know. Only Gilbert Arenas knows why he thought that would be something to defend. So when I clicked on this video, it turns out that that was the thing that Charles Barkley was talking about. He was essentially slamming the Lakers. He talked about Bronny, and at the very end, he said, this thing is also making LeBron James look bad, this Bronny James story. So for those of you who didn't hear what Charles Barkley had to say, I want to play exactly what he had to say now, and then want to come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to what Chuck had to say here.
Awful. I thought it was because it was so fun. I was taping that match with Ken Griffey Jr. about way before the season started. He was telling me him and his dad were gonna go out for that first game. And then I was with my foolish friends later, you think Bronny's going to make the opening day roster? I'm like, there's 100% chance. There's no way in the world Nike is flying Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. out there, and Bronny don't get on the court with his dad.
Right, and his dad's not going to let him play.
First of all, that's a Nike commercial waiting to happen. That's waiting to happen. But I thought it was great, a little ceremonial first game, but the kid's not ready to play in the NBA, and he should be in the G League, and so he can play basketball. He's not going to get better sitting on the bench, but also this thing where he's only going to play home games.
That's wild. Not traveling with the team.
It's wild. If you mean stupid, because it's not fair to him. It's not fair to the team. Can you imagine a coach of that team, you come off a road trip and there's a player you ain't seen in a week or two, and then you feel like you probably got to play him. So I don't think they're doing Bronny any favors, and they just handled this thing really bad. It's a bad look for the Lakers. It's a bad look for the Lakers. I actually think it's a bad look for, I really like everything LeBron's done, but this is a bad look for him, in my opinion.
So you heard what he had to say. This is why a lot of us are happy that Charles Barkley and Inside the NBA is still going to be on TV. It is for reasons like this. Charles is saying what pretty much most people are thinking. That number one, this situation is ridiculous. Number two, people don't like the fact that LeBron has given his son all of this. Look, it's already bad enough that a lot of people feel that Bronny doesn't deserve to be in it. That's already bad enough. But when you get the sense that Bronny is unwilling to go through the process, go through the proper channels, put in the actual work, it begins to turn off a lot of people that may have been at the beginning more, supportive of LeBron, and then it would force them to just say, okay, look, this is just wrong here. This is just wrong. Again, my question is, why is Bronny in the NBA to begin with? Because some people will say, oh, well, he wants to come into the NBA and fulfill his dream. Really? Is that the case? I want to harken back to the original story that was published by ESPN right before, just after draft night. The story was the following. It was highlighting a conversation that took place between Rich Paul and Bronny James. It went essentially like this. Rich Paul went to Bronny and said, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Okay. And Bronny said, I just want to hear my name get called. Well, that sounds like a pretty noble request. So Rich was like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, we're going to make it happen for you. But then we heard that Bronny was only willing to work out for 2 NBA teams. We're like, but that doesn't make any sense. Then we started hearing on draft night or the night before that if teams pick Bronny, he's going to go to Australia. Think about it. He's going to go to Australia. And it was at that point we knew that, wait a minute, this thing was a foregone conclusion that he was going to go to the Lakers. But nevertheless, the Lakers drafted him. On opening night, they had their moment. But after that, many of us were asking a question, which was, well, what comes next? What happens next? And then we will see Bronny come in from time to time and play garbage minutes. We're like, okay. And then we got the news that Bronny's going to be demoted to the G League. Well, okay, good. Okay, well, he's going to go to the G League because clearly he's not ready. So that means he needs to develop. Bronny goes to the G League, plays 2 games, and then all of a sudden we hear Bronny's not going to be traveling with the road team, his G League team to travel on the road. And people were like, okay, this thing is now turning into a joke. It's turning into an absolute. First of all, regardless of the fact LeBron James is a billionaire, what does LeBron's billionaire status have to do with Bronny James traveling with his team to play on the road? Some people say, well, his father's a billionaire. Yeah, I understand that. But the problem is the position that the son is in the NBA. He is a G League player. So it has absolutely nothing to do with his father's status. You can be watching this show right now. Your father could be worth $100 million. Somebody watching this show. But if you go get a job where they're paying you $85,000 a year, your father being worth $100 million has absolutely nothing to do with your responsibilities at your office, at your workplace. Because your work and your value in the workplace dictates that you must do things that are required for that position, regardless of what the financial status is of your father. But in the case of Bronny's a G League player getting the benefits of his billionaire father. And that's where Ryan Clark was like, what has Bronny done to earn that? LeBron has earned it, absolutely. But Bronny hasn't. And it goes back to some quotes that Mike Tyson and Shaq made. But let's stick to Shaq here. Shaq told his kids, Shaq said it was an issue that he had with his kids. And one can envision it. Shaq is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So his kids are looking at him like, well, dad is damn rich. They must live in a great, lovely house and all of that stuff. But Shaq is saying the problem we're having is that they don't realize that I'm rich, you're not. Same issue with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson told his kids, he says, I'm rich, you're not rich. So the message is, if you want to live the lifestyle of a guy worth 100, 200 million, you're going to have to go out there and make that paper. Now, this is a part where some people part in different ways. Because some people have the mindset, well, look, if I'm rich, then my kids should be able to enjoy my wealth. And there are other people that are like, okay, if I'm rich, I should make sure that my kids have the absolute essentials. But if they want to live the high and lovely life or whatever it is, they need to go out there and work. I'm going to give you guys a quick story to close it out here. My father's Nigerian. He works in Nigeria. He's a businessman. He's in construction, hospitality, logistics, all different things, right? Doing his thing. We went on a vacation. I forgot the year, 2012 or 11 or 13, one of them years. And we went to LA. I'm going to give you all the story. It was my first time ever going to LA. I forgot where we were, but we were like at some shopping mall area. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, with Ryan Gosling and the guy when they broke up, and everybody's like this love triangle. It's like a shopping mall that he took him to in the movie. It's that area. I don't remember the name of the place. I don't remember the name of the place. Very beautiful place. So we're just walking around. I'm looking around the area. I'm like, man, this place is beautiful. They had like a gym. I think it was like an Equinox. You had all of these Bentleys and all of this stuff. So I see a Ferrari parked outside. Follow the story. And I'm looking at this Ferrari. I'm like, man, this Ferrari looks good. So my dad walks up to me. And he's like walking past, and he walks up to me. He notices me looking at the car. He goes, he's like, wow, you like nice things. I was like, yeah, I like the car. He's like, good, work hard. And he walked off. That was the end of the story. That's the end. He's like, you like good things. He laughed and he goes, work hard, and walked off. Meaning, in this life, especially if you're a man, my brother, nobody's coming to save you. If you're a lady, people may have sympathy for you. But when you're a guy, you gotta see, nobody feels sorry for you as a man. Nobody. So if it's LeBron, and LeBron is like, you want to come to the NBA? This is what you want to do? This is your dream, and you're serious about it? And now you're a G League player? You got to go through the process of a G League player. If you feel unsafe, I'll hire security for you, but you're going to get your butt on that plane. And you're going to go through all the steps that everybody else has to go because you're going to earn your spot in the NBA. That's what LeBron, if LeBron had said, no, you got to try, and people would have been applauding LeBron. They would have been, even me, I would have been clapping for him. Like, that's how you do it. Not this, oh, well, he's too above to fly commercial. No. And it must be difficult because Bronny must fly private everywhere he goes, but now your job is saying that you don't get to fly private. You don't understand what I'm telling you. LeBron, your father provided you the life, and of course you had NIL money, but NIL money and NBA money. So your dad is like, man, we're flying private everywhere. And then you're like, well, Dad, I got me a job. He's like, look, fantastic. I'm happy for you. He's like, but I don't know how I'm going to fly private. He's like, you're going to have to figure it out, my boy. You said you wanted to come into the NBA. You are the 55th pick. You are in the G League. Therefore, you got to go through the process. And the Lakers' unwillingness to put Bronny through the process is turning people off, and it's sending the message that they, as an organization, is not serious. It's also sending the message that Bronny himself doesn't seem to be serious. And if the Lakers aren't serious and Bronny doesn't seem to be serious, then we don't need to take them seriously. And we need to view them as what they are, which is a sideshow. This is the fundamental conclusion that most of us are just going to have to come to. It is a sideshow at this point. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys, what do you think about our analysis? What do you think about the points Charles Barkley brought forth? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we'll catch you guys on the next show. Peace.